Hey guys, so the update kind of is a bit off, but with it comes a couple banners, and I'm pretty sure these are confirmed. So we do have dates on, if I count them, we have seven, eight, nine. We have nine banners to talk about, which is a lot. That's a lot of banners. And hopefully different to my last two banner videos or my last banner video or whatever, where it didn't end up coming true because of that whole update fiasco. Hopefully, this one's actually freaking right. Obviously, I'm not going to stop the production of a video like this. That's really a big deal, just based on the fact that one of them wasn't right. So I'm still going to talk about it. But that aside, let's just get into it. I don't want to waste your guys' time. I do have to say quickly that you're not going to see Numera or Xera's banner or even the Lizard Day banner on this. I don't know if they're ever planning on rerunning them. I assume they will, but for now, we don't know where they are. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. And if you don't, this little guy on the screen, he's not going to get his cookie. So if you want to give him his cookie, make sure to like and subscribe. Number one, the first banner that we will be getting is on September 13th, and it is Talula, Arrogance, Avalon, Azoth, and Idril. Now, this one I do have banner art for. It is really, really sick banner art, and I'm really, really excited for this banner because this one is insanely, insanely good. And if I'm going to talk about which banners you should really be saving for, which I will talk about as we go, this is probably the main priority because Talula's really, really solid. She's not Elowen level. Elowen is still better at rage regen. She's better at she's better at multi healing. She's better at cleansing. But for anyone who doesn't have Elowen, Talula is going to be SSS tier for you, and is probably the closest thing you're ever gonna get to Elowen without having Elowen, obviously, right? So if you don't have Talula, definitely worth it. And then Arrogance is also, in my opinion, the second best fighter in the game, I'm pretty sure, right after Ardea. Arrogance is still more versatile than Ardea in every way. I mean, Arrogance is so important. He's godlike in Go Boss 1, Go Boss 2, Gear 3. He can be used in Gear 1 and 2. I don't recommend it, but you can. He's really solid in a lot of other content. He's just amazing. He's probably the best ranged fighter in the game, in my opinion, in terms of hitting air and that kind of unique range that like Araka has, Arrogance has, like Zilla too, stuff like that. Arrogance is ridiculous. If you want to get lust or you have lust and you don't have arrogance, if you don't have arrogance, pull in this banner, just straight up. Arrogance is that good. Epics, who the hell cares, right? Next, the week after, we're going to have a limited 15x on Kiriri and Esme. I will have a video going over a little bit of leaks on the event itself, but for now, we will be having the event and then the banner around September 20th, so keep that in mind. Kirigiri is a must-have for Go Boss 2. He is really, really solid. I know War Guides has a couple good testing videos on them. I know not that many testing videos have come out, so I definitely will recommend his for all of these. Fastidious has Beezle. I'll get to the B guy in a second, but he has one. But War Guides has a video on all of these if you want to go check those out. It's up to you, man. I'm just recommending. But alongside Kirigiri, we're gonna have Bubba, also known as Beelzebub. I know some people have an issue with the name, so I am just gonna call Beelzebub Bubba. I think it's funny as hell. So shout out to the person who recommended that. This is going to be a 2x by 15x on Beelzebub or Bubba, Lucius, and Razak, which is crazy. We've never had a 2x by 15x at the same time as Kirigiri. So for everyone who wasn't saving during the downtime, I'm so sorry. Like, straight up, you're going to be so mad. We're going to have a 2x by 15x with Lucius. Very, very, very good hero. Razak, probably the hero we've had the most 2x by 15x ever. Razak, solid unit, not as good as the other two. And then we got Bubba. Bubba is going to be pretty meta in a lot of areas, I think. The inspirations around what Dolores is, the CC is pretty good, does do some damage. Bubba just has a lot of things going for him, man. There's a lot of things. You're going to want A3 if you can. But I will say, I personally, and this is my opinion, I wouldn't personally go for A3 over getting any of the other heroes. So Talula, Arrogance, Kiriri, those are all so good to the point where I would say you kind of need to have at least one of the three I just mentioned, especially if you don't have them. To the point where if you can't go for A3 B Bubba, that's okay. Now the week after that is 1+1, which is interesting. So September 27, last week of the month, 1+1 right there. We are having 1+1 right now, so it'll be close to a month after this one. And then October 4th, we have a 15x on Xena, Brokir, Mari, Mariel, and Hollow. So if you don't have Hollow, this is insane. There are some other really good epics on the one after, and some things that really, really changed the game. But for now, let's talk about this one. We have Xena, Brokir. Brokir, best tank in the game. We just had a banner for him, which is okay. And then we have Xena. Xena's going to be so good for Guild Boss 1. She's going to be so good for the Epilogue Stage 6. She's going to be decent in a lot of content, but she's not really going to stand out that much. She's very strong, but she only works for a little bit of time. So, she's not going to get the most amount of potential, right? So that is a banner. Definitely worth pulling for, but I think the 3 before that one are probably more important. So keep that in mind as well. Now the next 15x is Codor, Alora, Dolores, Maul, and Artist. So Dolores and Maul are really good if you do not have them. Same as if you did not have Hollow in the past banner. You do have to pull on these no matter where you are in the game, in my opinion. But what's interesting about this banner is we actually have a hero on a banner, and that kind of archetype of hero has never been on a banner before. So the fact that this even exists is a big frickin' deal, man. Like, I cannot understate how big of a deal this is. So, Codor is a fusion hero. He's a tank. He was a fusion hero. He is probably one of, if not the best unit for the tank codex. He's pretty decent in other areas, but not that game-changing. You want to get Brokir first, obviously. But, that's insane. Codor has never been on a banner before. Alistair has never been on a banner before. Alistair is in the pool, but he never has. Alistair, for those of you who don't know, was a fusion material. We haven't had any of the second epics in the pool, from my knowledge. We don't have them right now, like a Bizu. We don't have Eliza or Rourke in the pool. Like all of these fusion heroes and all of these fragment heroes have never really been in the pool, except for like Abomination and Alistair. And even then, I don't think either of those heroes have gotten a banner. So the fact that this fusion hero has a banner is actually really hype. Because in a game where you need to awaken things, or in a game where you really want to try to collect them all, because the game gives you enough summons to collect them all, or at least gives you enough to get close, it's really cool that they actually make it obtainable now. So that's sick. Alora is hot garbage. This is probably the biggest skip so far, honestly. I would 100% skip this. Not even think about it. That's how bad this banner is. But, it's interesting, right? Now, next, we actually don't have a date on this one. So it says XX. It'll be 15x on Satum and Saraphina, Baron, Lily, and Kalina. Pretty forgettable epics. Satum is great if you don't have him. Saraphina is decent. I know Ronaldo's a big Saraphina fan, but apart from him, I don't think anyone actually likes Saraphina. So, that's a skip for me, honestly. I am missing Setram above all. And with Lust Banner, either in Valentine's or, it's not going to be Halloween, let's be real, guys. But, Lust Banner being probably for Valentine's Day, you do want to be a bit careful on your summoning. So just keep that in mind. Now we do have 2 ancient banners, and the first one is one I am going to be freaking excited as hell about. So this one says September 28th, so the end of this month, but it also says XX, which means that the exact date is unknown, so it could be subject to change, is what I'm interpreting here. But we're going to get a 15x on Yovar and Carnelian again. Now, I do have Yovar, but I still will be wailing really hard on this banner. This is the next ancient banner I'm really excited for. Obviously, another Ingrid banner might be on the horizon, or a Pope banner, I don't know. They've been recycling a lot of really good heroes, but Carnelian is so important, especially if you don't have her. She is absolutely game-changing for Guild v Guild, for Guild Boss 2, for Gear Dungeon 2. There's a lot of really good strategies. She's hard to find uses for in certain areas, but the places where she is useful, she is one of, if not the best units for it. So if you do not have Carnelian, it's so worth going for. I do not have Carnelian. I need Carnelian so desperately, so I'm going for that. Now, on October the 5th, we are getting a 15x on Gon and Sargak, also another crazy ancient banner. Gon is very good. Valderon does outclass him quite a bit now in the current meta, but Sargak also is really, really good. Sargak, in my opinion, is the best pure like anti-air DPS. I would say he's on par with Silas in that regard. Silas is obviously better in pretty much every other way. But Sargak, when he's low HP, his basics are ridiculously strong. And if you can get him to work, he is insane. He's insanely good for Guild and all of those things. So that is definitely worth it. Personally, the banners I would focus on are the Talula Arrogance, especially that is my number 1. My number 2 is Kiriri, because he will never come back. Number 3 is going to be Beelzebub, Lucius, and Razak. Honestly, that also might be my number 1. I think these 3 are interchangeable. You want to try to pull in all 3 of them. I think I just really like Talula's design, honestly. And then I would say 4 is Xena, 5 is Setram, and then 6 is Codor. Do not pull in Codor. I would also say skip the 1+1s that are coming up, because with all these really, really good heroes, they're not like absolutely game-breaking. They're not Ingrid level. They're not Boreas that is release level, obviously. But, you know, you're going to want these heroes, and from what I see, 1+1s generally are hot garbage. So do you really want to risk it for hot garbage, or have a higher chance of getting something really, really good and great for progression on your account? That is in my perspective. Pretty quick banner leak video there. So tell me what you guys are excited for. Tell me what you are all kind of wanting to see out there. I'm pretty sure this stuff is allowed to be added based on like this update coming up, because this sort of thing doesn't require as much review from Apple as the other stuff, is my assumption. I could be wrong, as always. I'm just kind of, you know, saying what I know and hoping that it sticks. You guys don't come for me with accurate information. Let's be real here, guys. But yeah, so thank you guys for watching. You know, pretty basic video, but I want to go to sleep. So yeah, that's it for me. Destined signing out. Take care, guys.